Welcome. This is Small Business Saturdays podcast with attorney Justin Camper. This podcast is for business owners who want to take their business to the next level. So stay tuned for legal tips and great insights on how to protect and grow your business. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you are in. This is Small Business Saturdays podcast with attorney Justin Camper. For those who don't know me, I am a small business and trademark attorney. I am the owner of Justin Camper Law LLC, a law firm that specializes in helping small business owners protect and grow their business without the worries of unnecessary litigation. This is podcast episode number 2, titled The 5 Legal Needs for Every Small Business Owner. On the last podcast episode, I talked about why you should start a business in 2020. And I basically gave you some indicators to know if you should start your business. I also gave you guys a story on how I overcame challenges to starting my own law firm and business. And if you want to know the 5 P's and the 3 M's to know if you're ready to start your business, make sure you check out my last podcast episode. Whether it's on YouTube or Apple platform podcast, I'm on all major platforms on the Small Business Saturdays podcast with attorney Justin Camper. So, as promised, I want to discuss the 5 legal needs for every small business owner. And when you hear the term legal, it sounds very formal. It sounds very boring. It doesn't sound like something that you want to pay attention to. But it's very important that you do understand the legal terms. And I want to break it down for you today. It's easy to just throw out a bunch of legal terms and you don't understand it. And to say, hey, you need to hire an attorney. And a lot of attorneys do that. Right, but in this podcast, and my purpose is to empower people to succeed. I want to make sure that you don't leave more confused, but that you actually have more clarity on how to protect and grow your business. My vision is to live in a world where people can easily create wealth by creating products and services, by using their gifts and talents to help serve the world. And so the purpose of this podcast is to empower business owners with inspiration and information to teach them how to protect and grow their business. So before I talk about the 5 legal needs for your business, I do want to read to you some statistics. Here we go. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, approximately 20% of new businesses fail during the first 2 years of being open. 45% during the first 5 years, and 65% during the first 10 years. Only 25% of new businesses make it to 15 years or more. I got these statistics out of an article that was published on February 28, 2020. So, for those watching this in 2020, it's fairly new. And often I wonder, do businesses fail, particularly small businesses fail, because of lack of a good product? Do they fail because of lack of a good service, lack of marketing? And I suspect that often these businesses fail because they don't understand the rules to the game. If I had a bet, most small businesses have a very good product, a very good service. A lot of them have great customer service. A lot of them have great marketing. But they don't understand the rules that are surrounded around business. And let's define business. So according to Google, business is the practice of engaging in one's living by engaging in commerce, by selling a product or service. Let's define laws. A law is a system of rules that a particular country or organization abides by and enforces. An entrepreneur is a person who organizes a business and takes on greater than normal financial risk. So business law is about a system of rules to govern your business. So if you don't know the rules, you can't win the game. So what I'm trying to emphasize is that business law is important, highly important, if you are an entrepreneur and you are starting a business, you're creating businesses, and you don't know the law. So it's essential to know the law. So if you don't know the rules, you can't win the game, right? That's a general principle that we all understand. If you don't know the legal rules of a business, you can't win the game of business. So it's just like, for example, basketball. You could be a great dribbler, a great shooter, a great passer, but if you don't understand the rules to basketball, if you're running up the court or you're shooting the ball out of bounds or whatever, it doesn't matter because how good you may be as a shooter independently or a dribbler independently. What matters is that you understand the rules to the game, you know. And so a lot of people have great products and services, and they're marketers, but they don't understand the legal rules around business. Now, there are other rules to business that besides legal. There is the marketing rules. There is the customer service rules. There is the rules around producing a good product or service for your particular industry. And yes, there are rules for everything. But I want to talk to you guys about some legal rules to help make sure some ground rule at minimum legal rules to help you get started. And the purpose of these legal rules are to serve two purposes. They are here to protect your business, and they are here to help your business grow. America is built on a capitalistic society. So America wants you to succeed. The country fails when businesses fail. Our economy is set up on businesses thriving. So these rules that are created by the government and created by people are meant to help you protect and grow your business. That's why it's so essential for you to learn. Now, there are three types of laws. There is the federal, state, and local. In understanding this, that there are three types of laws, there are a lot of laws out there that you need a lawyer to help you advise on. We understand that the federal law is laws that are governed throughout the entire United States. We know that the state law is only for your particular state, and we know local laws are for whatever neighborhood or community that you're in, your city or your town. And so understanding that, they all have different implications. So if you may not know that you have some state laws to abide by, when you're only know the local laws. You only know the state laws, but you may not understand that you have federal laws that you need to abide by. And so that's why it's essential to have a lawyer on your team to help you advise you of some of the laws and some implications of the things that you're doing, so that you can understand whatever it is that you're doing moving forward, what laws in place that you need to implement for whatever particular situation that you have. And so understanding that business is a game, right? And business, how to win in business is knowing the rules. And knowing the rules to any game, you want to do one thing, right? You want to score. And so I created this acronym called SCORE, and SCORE, 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 to outline the 5 legal needs that every small business owner needs to help them grow and protect their business. So the first acronym in SCORE, I'll just name them all off and then I'll explain them. Number 1 in SCORE is structure. Number 2 is C, and that's contracts. Number 3 for O is online protection. Number 4 is R, and that is registration of intellectual property. And number 5 is E, and that is for experience, an experienced attorney representing you in legal transactions. So when you start a business, you want to make sure that you are starting your business off the right way. A lot of times, how you start your business is how you want to continue to do business throughout the rest of your business career, the life of that entire business. So, just like with anything, the first thing that you build is the foundation. Just like with a house, you want to build the foundation before anything. So there are 5 legal needs, and with these 5 legal needs, they are meant to help you avoid business litigation, because business litigation can cost you a lot of money and time in court and may not get you the results that you want. So by me explaining to you these 5 legal needs on how to score, you understand why it's essential in every business, and to operate in these 5 legal areas, these 5 legal needs for your business. So let's take a look at number 1, and that is structure. You need to make sure that you have the right business structure. Now, I'm only going to go over 4 types of business structures. There are a lot of business structures out there, that you can have your business, but there are 4 main types of business structure from my experience that people are operating in, and they need to know the implications for that. Number 1 is sole proprietorship. And a sole proprietor is when an individual person goes out and sells a product or service. You are considered a sole proprietor at that very moment. Whether you register with the government or not, you are a sole proprietor. If you are an individual person selling a product or service and you haven't registered as anything else, you are a sole proprietor. Number 2 is a partnership. That's a structure. And that's when 2 people or more get together, they share profits, they work together in the business. They may have different functions or the same functions, but they work together, they're partners, and that's how that's a structure for a business. Number 3 is an LLC, and this is what I highly recommend. And an LLC is the acronym for LLC is a limited liability company. And what that is that you are creating a new person under the law that protects you, that separates the individual from the business. So if I had started doing legal services without registering my business, then I'll be doing legal services as Justin Camper. But when I took the step to actually register my business under a limited liability company, an LLC, I created a new person under the law, and now I'm doing business under Justin Camper Law LLC. Number 4 is a corporation. Now, corporations you are also creating a new person up under the law. However, with corporation, there are a lot of legal rules that is not a good fit for a small business owner starting out. There's a lot of things you need to file, paperwork you need to file within the Secretary of State. There's just a lot of fees. The taxes aren't in your advantage for a small business owner. Corporations are generally good for people who have large investors or many investors, and they want to invest into one business. Then you probably want to have a corporation structure at that point. So most small business owners fall under the guidelines of an LLC, or need to be under an LLC. When you are a sole proprietor or your partnership, you are personally liable for everything you do in business. So you have a bad business deal, or something goes wrong, or someone wants to sue you, or whatever, the person can come after your personal assets. And so you want to make sure that your personal assets is covered and it's protected. So that's why you create an LLC. You don't just do a sole proprietorship or a partnership. So that's with that. So the next thing I would say is that when an LLC is that you want to make sure that when you're setting it up, you want to make sure that you are doing it the right way. And so the government, just because you set up your LLC, that doesn't mean that you can just act as if you are your LLC and just do whatever you want to do. You still have to hold meetings, have meeting minutes. You still have to separate your personal bank account, your personal income, and your personal expenses from the business. So if you are commingling funds, right? If you are commingling your personal income and expenses with your business expenses, at that point you are, what the court a legal term is, you're piercing the veil. And by piercing the veil means that you are by piercing the veil means that you are doing things that is destroying the structure of your business. So even though you might go through the process of setting up an LLC, you need to make sure that when you do go through that process of setting up an LLC, that you are operating that LLC as an LLC and getting a bank account, getting a business bank account, separating your funds. You need to go get your EIN number, which is the Social Security number for your business. And these are all things that my firm helps people with. So if this is you who needs an LLC, definitely please reach out to me. The second legal need for a business is contracts. Every business relationship needs contracts. Anytime you are doing business with someone, you need a contract in place. Contracts are the terms that outline the obligations of both parties in the agreement. So it basically just a simple written document that makes it clear for everyone that is a part of this business deal to know what their obligations are. There are so much confusion. There is so much confusion in communication. This is why it's so highly suggested when a person is doing a business deal to outline what are the responsibilities of each person and what happens if one person does not fulfill their obligation. There have been times when I was in a contract and I didn't want to do that contract. I didn't want to do the terms for whatever reason, but because I knew that there was a contract, I did it. There are times when people didn't want to do things that they obligated to do, but because I was able to point out in the contract what they said that they were going to do, I was able to get what I wanted. So having a contract is essential for your business. You want to make sure that you have contracts in place for your business. I want to do another podcast episode that's probably going to be my next podcast episode on the 5 contracts that every single business owner needs. And I'll say this, you need to make sure that you have contracts that are horizontal, that are vertical. And so you want to make sure that you have contracts with the people that you are working with horizontally, meaning that as your partners or other businesses, you want to make sure you have a contract for them. You also want to make sure you have a contract for the people that that works under you. So that's employees or independent contractors. I want to talk more about that in the next podcast episode. So stay tuned for that. Now, we talked about contracts. The third legal need for every single business is online protection. When you have a website that collects people information online, you open up yourself for potential liability. You are required to have a privacy policy in place that you are disclosing to the people that are using your product or service on your website, and you have to disclose how you are using people's information. Privacy policies can get very tricky and dicey, and so it depends on what industry you are in. So if you think you might need a privacy policy, give me a call. So there are 3 main ways to get legal protection online. It is drafting a privacy policy, terms and conditions, and disclaimers. I've already explained to you about a privacy policy, which is terms that you put in place to explain to potential clients or customers how their data will be used. Terms and conditions are policies that you put in place where you tell the customer what is legally required of them in order to use their particular service or product. It basically just outlines what they have to do and what they're supposed to do online. Lastly is disclaimers. Disclaimers are extremely important. You want to make sure that people have the right expectations when they buy your product or service. So disclaimers can be very customizable to your particular business and your industry. For example, if you are a business coach, you don't want to have people thinking that they're guaranteed $100 million or guaranteed success, right? So you want to make sure that you have a disclaimer saying that, even though I want to give you some great tips and great things for your business, it's not guaranteed. You still have to put in the work. And so there are, these are the major policies that you need to make sure that you have in your business, to make sure that you have online legal protection. So if you want to consult an attorney about finding out, what are some of the legal needs for your particular business, definitely give me a call or shoot me an email. I'd love to chat. The fourth legal need, which one of my favorites, is registering your intellectual property. That is the R, registering your intellectual property. The R in SCORE. So intellectual property is trademarks, copyrights, patents, trade secrets. Basically, intellectual property is anything that is not tangible, that comes from the mind, that is an intellectual property. So the three main intellectual properties that I want to just briefly go over is trademarks, copyrights, and patents. And these all are deserving of a podcast episode themselves. So I will go into depth into other podcast episodes about that. But trademarks are words or phrases or names or designs that are meant to distinguish your product or service from your competitors. It's basically meant to help people find out who is the source of the good or service or product. You want to make sure that you are have something trademarked. You have registered your trademark so that people can't just use the same name or use the same logo and sell the same product or service. So also you want to have copyrights. Copyrights are meant to protect the creative work being used, protect your creative work from being used by others without consent. So copyrights are, it could be a literary work, which is like a book that you created in your business, or it can be a song that you created. Anything that you build or you do, you can copyright it within the law to make sure that someone else doesn't take it in and claim it as theirs. So there are a lot of copyrights within businesses, so you want to make sure you do that. The lastly thing is third major way of intellectual property, of what you need to do to register your intellectual property, is called patents. And most people that I talk to don't have patents. I do have a contact who is a patent attorney. You need a special license to do patent law. But patents protect the process of how an invention works or the way your invention is designed. So if you have a cool way of your packaging something, or you have a new way of a new invention, or the way that you do business, you want to protect that, you want to patent that, there you can do that. You can patent the way you do something. And so if you are you have a very cool invention or product, or especially something dealing with technology, talk to a patent lawyer, and I definitely have contacts for that, for those who need it. So that's just being wise. This is being smart. If you are a business owner, so you want to make sure that you are doing this. And a lot of times, for one end is that you want to protect yourself, but the other end is that you don't want to infringe on other people's rights. And so that's why it's really good to talk to an attorney first when you are thinking about getting something trademarked or copyrighted, so that attorney can help you figure out if you are actually infringing on someone else's rights. You may want to send out a cease and desist letter for someone you know that is using your name or logo that's similar or the same as yours. So you want to contact a good intellectual property attorney. This is something that I specialize in, so I would love to talk to you if this is your legal issue. The fifth and last legal need for a business is experience. You want to have an experienced attorney representing you in legal transactions. This is kind of a bonus. A lot of people don't have this, but it's essential. I think that it's essential. It can really take your business to the next level. Typically, if you're not doing big deals, and whatever big is this to you, people don't have an experienced attorney representing them during transactions. But it could be helpful even for the deals that you think that are little, because you never know what can grow from it. Every business transaction is a way that you can find yourself liable. So a good way of limiting your liability is having a good lawyer on your team. As attorneys, we are bound by the law to represent the best legal interests for our clients. We are bound by law to make sure that our clients' interests are put up front ahead of our interests. So having a competent lawyer to represent you in a transaction, to negotiate a better deal, to help figure out if the terms of the contract is good, and to review the contract for you, to make sure that it's legally protecting you, to make sure that the people that you are doing business with, that they aren't, there's nothing that they can do to make you liable. Having a third party just to help you understand another perspective on the deal, to give you some insight as to if this might be a good business deal at all. These are all things that a good attorney can do for you. So having an experienced attorney representing you in transaction is an essential part of starting a business that every small business owner needs. So today I talked to you guys about the 5 legal needs for every small business owner, and that is score. I want you to score in this game called business. And score represents structure, contracts, online protection, registering your intellectual property, and an experienced attorney representing you in legal transactions. So you are a small business owner who are operating in these 5 legal aspects, in these 5 legal needs. You are setting up a strong foundation for your business to grow and to build more business. Business litigation can cost you lots of money. When you don't implement these 5 legal needs, what happens is litigation. You have to sue someone, or someone has to sue you. But hiring the right attorney now can help you save a ton of money, and it can really help you even earn more money. So if you make the right decisions today for your business, you'll be thanking yourself in the future. So if you don't have an attorney on your team, or you would need legal help with any of these 5 areas of your business, contact my office. The way to do that is on my website, justincamperlaw.com, and I can set you up for a free 30-minute consultation. Again, that's Justin Camper Law, JUSTINCAMPER, law.com, and it's a way to contact me on there, and I'll get back to you, and we'll schedule an appointment, and we can talk about your small business. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Like I said, on the next episode, I'll be giving the 5 contracts that every small business owner needs. This is a lot of fun. I really hope that you stay tuned for the next episode. And as always, stay legal. Thank you for listening to Small Business Saturday Podcast with your host, Attorney Justin Camper. I hope you gained some valuable tips on how to protect and grow your business. Remember, this podcast does not count as personalized legal advice. Neither do you create an attorney-client relationship with me. However, if you do want an attorney to give you personalized legal advice for your business, contact me at justincamperlaw.com. It has been a pleasure to do this podcast and share my legal information. Please subscribe and rate this podcast so I can continue to give you more legal information. Until next Saturday, stay legal.